Is Unity dying? And if it is, what does that mean for us indie game developers? 2023 wasn't the best year for Unity Technologies. In January, they laid off 300 workers. In May, they laid off another 600 workers. In September, Unity announced their infamous installation fee plan. And in the same month, after a brutal backlash, they scrapped the plan. In October, their chief executive stepped down, and in November, they announced another 265 layoffs. As if 2023 wasn't bad enough, in January 2024, Unity announced it would lay off 1,800 employees. That's 25% of their workforce, all in an attempt to improve its financial performance after a difficult year. It has indeed been a difficult year for Unity Technologies, but my sympathy lies with the workers. They faced 3 rounds of redundancies in 2023 and then another round at the beginning of 2024. I've went through the redundancy process 3 times. It's not fun. But I went through it 3 times in 20 years. To face redundancy 4 times in 13 months is horrendous. The morale at the company has surely fallen through the floor. And the thing that makes it worse for the workers is that they're not the ones that f*** things up. They are, however, the ones paying the price. If you ever needed proof that capitalism is not a meritocracy, this is it. In fairness, Unity's dire situation is not unique. It's estimated that 9,000 people were laid off in the gaming industry in 2023. Wildlife Studios laid off 300 staff, Amazon Games laid off 180, Ubisoft 135, Epic Games 830. The list goes on, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down in 2024. As I mentioned earlier, Unity has announced 1,800 layoffs. Activision Blizzard has announced 1,900 layoffs. Riot Games 530, Twitch 500, and again, the list goes on and on. 2024 is looking like a shit show. The gaming industry is in crisis. So, what the f*** do we do? I don't use Unity, I use Godot. But I want to view this from the perspective of a solo game developer who currently uses Unity. After all, the video is about Unity Technologies possibly dying. And let's be honest, any engine could die, whether it's commercial or open source. So it's a topic that is relevant to all of us. But back to Unity. Whilst the Unity saga unfolds, a solo game developer who uses Unity will find themselves in one of 2 scenarios. Scenario 1, you're currently deep in a game project. Scenario 2, you're currently between game projects. It doesn't really matter which scenario you find yourself in, because by this point, you've invested a lot of time and energy learning to make games with Unity. You may also have Unity games out there trickling or hopefully flooding money into your business account. Point being, you're invested, and it's going to require a reasonable amount of time and energy to switch engines. So what do you do? Well, this is what I would do rather than how you should do, but I would do nothing. I pride myself in having a lazy mindset when it comes to work. I really don't want to spend unnecessary energy. So I complement that mindset with 2 rules. Rule number 1, always choose the path of least resistance. And rule number 2, never work on a problem that doesn't exist yet. It's because of these 2 rules that I would do nothing. Because A, continuing to use Unity seems like the path of least resistance. Learning or porting to a new game engine seems like a lot of unnecessary effort, especially when B, Unity is still a good product and the company hasn't died yet. So moving to another engine in case Unity collapses is, in my view, working on a problem that doesn't exist yet. Again, I'd like to stress that this is an example of how I would rather than how you should. You, of course, will deal with any existential threat to your preferred game engine in the way you see fit. But let me pull us back to the original question. Is Unity dying? Multiple rounds of redundancies, disastrous pricing models, and outgoing executives. There's been a lot of fires, and we can't really be sure that all of the fires are out. But the reality is that we are on the outside looking in, and we don't have all the data. I think it's reasonable to suggest that the company is going through a rough time. I think it's also reasonable to suggest that its future is uncertain. But I think it's worth pointing out that Unity isn't alone here. The gaming industry as a whole is experiencing a crisis. There's going to be casualties, and I think Unity is better placed than most to survive. But who knows? To use a very annoying British phrase, all we can really do is keep calm and carry on. That's definitely what I'm going to do. I recently produced a small game using Godot. You can download that for free on Steam, and I'm working on a new game as we speak. My name is David, and this is my quest to become an indie game developer.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.